What does it mean to be dead? That's a question that many people ask themselves. What comes after your life? Does your soul continue to live on? Do souls even exist? Where does it go? It's not just about us humans, but also about video games. What does it mean though? How can something die that does not truly live? When it comes to multiplayer games, there is a pretty cut and dry answer. When there are no more players left, the servers are done for, or if there weren't that many players to begin with. But death doesn't always mean true death. A game without many players is like breaking your own neck. Most of the time it will kill you, but you can also survive it and keep living on, but it will change your life. A very recent example for this would be Concord. Even before it launched, it was already dead on arrival. Even if the quality of the game would have been great, it would have not mattered at all. In the eyes of most, it was just not appealing at all, and it never stood a chance anymore. It has nothing to hook people in. Why buy a game that you know will take a few minutes to find a match in shortly after release, and even then you will most likely just get matched against the same people? Just that thought alone is enough for people not wanting to buy it, and even turning it free to play won't save it anymore, most likely. So despite people playing it, it's a dead game to many. The next stop is servers that got turned offline. One thing that warms my heart is when people truly keep games alive, that many people don't even think about anymore. There are tons of discords for games that were supposed to be dead, like Ratchet& Clank Up Your Arsenal. I played it all the way back in 2005 for a bit online, and it already felt like a dead game by then. Not many games had a huge player base on the PlayStation 2, with a few exceptions like Pro Evolution Soccer or especially FIFA. Then the servers got shut down from Ratchet& Clank, and you can still play it online through various ways and meet up with people on all those silly Discord servers so you can actually have someone to play with. In the eyes of the average person, this will still be a dead game. Why bother with such a small player base? But to the people who grew up with these games, who actually enjoy experiencing new games online, despite those games being older than them, it's the dream. So many small niche communities allowing you to experience what was thought to be lost. Mario Kart Wii was your favorite Mario Kart to play online? Go mod your Wii and you can easily play it again with a pretty active community. You totally missed Metal Gear Online 2 on your little PlayStation 3? Guess what? That game is also alive. In a way, those little communities also carry the true meaning of multiplayer. Nowadays you hop on a ranked match and maybe will never see the other people again, with some exceptions like adding people that were funny and all that and becoming mates. But you can't imagine how much more fun custom servers back then were on most games, especially in Counter-Strike 1.6 or Source for me. You just had a blast with the locals. It was just full of every single person you could think of. Some random edgy teens, some old grandpa with a funny accent from Lower Saxony that you made fun of for playing video games instead of working. Normal people. Everyone just shooting the shit out of each other while having a blast. Not to say that this doesn't still exist, but it feels most shooters turned into just jumping into a ranked match instead of just playing on these type of servers for fun. Feeling the adrenaline in your veins when you hear this song coming up because you just became the last person on your team and have to clutch it while everyone just makes noises and you tell them to shut the hell up so you can concentrate and finally being praised when you clutch the round out. No, I'm not an old boomer yet. Please don't tell me that. Please shut up. And that's what those revivals are also about to a degree, I think, just to have fun, and well, to keep games alive forever. Try your best, but also just be a nice person to play with, since you will see those other people quite often because that's all you got. But what about single player games? When do those die, if they ever actually die? I'm not quite sure how much of it is a recent thing, but when I was a kid, it was just natural that things moved on and no one really cared about it, even online. I posted on a bunch of forums and no one called the game dead, just because no one else didn't really talk about it anymore except for a thread here and there. The internet already existed back then, but social media was not a super duper big thing yet. Obviously, you had a MySpace account where you inserted your favorite pop punk song of the month so it loudly plays when people enter your page to destroy the eardrums, but overall, you didn't use it much really, I think. YouTube became big, Twitter started lifting off for the average person, Instagram, and whatever else you got. It's impossible to totally not use social media. We all use it. You're using it right now if you're watching this video. And forums start out to everyone just gathered to these places instead to talk about things, mixing the random people and super nerds together in a total mishmash of opinions. Nowadays, I see more and more people saying a game kinda is dead because people don't talk about them anymore, and I don't agree with it. If you look at the middle of 2023, there have been 3 big releases back to back: Tears of the Kingdom, Baldur's Gate 3, and then Starfield, and each of them stole a bit of thunder from the one before, in different ways. Remember when everyone posted tweets about abusing the co-works or posting clips of their crazy creations done with the Ultra Hand? How long did that last? A bunch of weeks. Then Baldur's Gate 3 came out and everyone shared their own character, the stories they have experienced with their companions, and were lasting all over them. Enter Starfield, a game with no lasting legacy except for people feeling vindicated that it was somewhat of a flop. Sure, it didn't lose their money and it surely made Bethesda some nice profit, but what about the impact of the game? It felt like it came and went without leaving the impression of being the next Skyrim, a game even your coworker back in the day maybe played and talked about at your workplace. Being that kind of game is obviously really hard though. In a way, you could say the same about Tears of the Kingdom if you take only the social media posts. Open up Twitter and boom, everyone is just talking about Wukong and Concord or Deadlock recently, and this will already be outdated when the next big games are coming out, except if they leave their very own legacy in different ways. But even then you won't see much talk about it, except for on Wikipedia or it popping up here and there every once in a while. Wukong will be remembered for putting Chinese single-player games onto the map most likely, Concord for being the biggest flop Sony has done gaming-wise, and Deadlock for being a fun MOBA, and since it's made by Valve, it will last forever like all of their games. Surely. Most people will always move on to the next big thing, and I don't think it's a case of just consume product and don't ask questions, but mostly just wanting to be there when everyone is there to talk about it. You want to be around to really feel that new game feel, seeing everyone talk about it so you can be one of those people too. It's like going on a school trip and missing a train everyone else is on, and now you will most likely just go home and miss out till the next school trip. There will still be people talking about those games you haven't played at release, but will it still be cool then? Will you still get likes for a pretty screen you have taken in-game? It poisons your mind, this mindset. Not everything about this mindset is bad though, mostly because spoiler culture nowadays is such a big thing. Do stories get ruined through spoilers? Will a story be bad when you know what happens? I personally see it as half and half. There are things where I don't care about spoilers. If you spoil me something out of the next Zelda game, I will sit there and go, okay. If you spoil me who the culprit in the Danganronpa or Ace Attorney games is, then you kinda sour the games a bit for me. So it makes sense people wanna play those games before everyone just decides it's totally fine to talk all about them, big story parts included. We also live in a time where every single day there's new games releasing, but what about real life events? You turn the news on and almost every single day there's a new big story, pushing the others down, till the next one pushes that one away again. Like recently Trump, a former American president, almost got killed, and regardless of what you think of him, it feels like it's already gone from most minds. Sure, it's still brought up here and there sometimes, but it feels like yesterday's snow, and the same happens to video games. We get too much stuff shoveled into our minds, which is kinda nice, but also kinda bad. I'm not a scientist, so that's all what you will hear from me though about it. And what is there even to talk about eventually? With so many people playing and talking about a game, it leaves little room to evolve the discussions about it at release after a certain point, till we hit the point where people start to hate on the game because it was too popular, or we reach the point where a game that was not popular starts gathering its niche code status and you get hit by the comment why everyone was wrong about insert random title here, except for the people who love to dig into games, because it can take some time to really put everything in your mind together after having played the game. It's the difference between a person who loves to shovel into the themes of a game and learning new things from it, while most people will just play through it once and go, well, that sucked, or well, that was fun, without giving it much of a second thought. Is that a bad thing? Not to me. I let people just live how they want to live and stay ignorant from everyone else's sins. In the end, you can call any game you want dead because they weren't even alive to begin with, since they are just objects. Should it matter? Isn't it all just a way to call games shit? People love to defend or attack other things on the internet after all, so it's up to you if you want to do that. Does it matter to me? Hell no, I just want the games I like to sell well, so I get more of those, but I'm such an internet hermit that I can't really relate to people caring about something like this. Am I even allowed to say it since I'm making a whole video about it? I just stay in my lane and do and talk about what I want myself, but I have seen people that made a big deal about quitting some community online, and it feels like an alien world to me, fandoms. I have never gotten into a single one because I'm extremely shy and keep myself to myself. I love Xenoblade 2 since release and never felt the need to get into endless discussions about it. Same with Dark Souls 2 or any other game, anime, book that I have ever enjoyed. They are surely great to make friends to talk with about the same things, but joining Discord and following YouTubers that cover those things just does not appeal to me somehow. But it's those communities that keep those games alive forever. You will always be able to find a group of people who love something so much that they will talk about it for as long as they live. So even if you missed out on a game's release, you can go talk with them and they will do their best to not spoil anything while they talk about it with you. Or they will do the complete opposite and you will start to hate fandoms or just a specific one. And I think that's pretty sweet. Fandoms have their bad but also good side, just like everything in life. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the video since I did enjoy making it while trying out a new style of editing, kinda. So if you want to shit on it, go ahead, I love feedback. And if you liked it, then you can also insult me, or maybe say something nice. Both of those things are the same thing to me, in a way, but I will appreciate it. Have a good day, a good night, or whatever fits your time zone. Bye bye.